Vanessa Cole had spent years fighting for justice in the courtroom, but today, justice wasn't on her mind after wrapping up a particularly exhausting case. She decided to treat herself. A luxury boutique downtown had recently launched an exclusive collection, and Vanessa, who had a love for designer handbags, thought she'd take a quick look before heading home. Where are you watching this today? Let us know in the comments below. As she stepped inside, the soft chime of the doorbell echoed through the boutique. It was a high-end establishment with marble floors, glass display cases, and perfectly dressed employees who spoke in hushed tones. She walked in confidently dressed in a navy blue pantsuit that spoke of both power and elegance. Her heels clicked against the polished floor as she admired the carefully arranged handbags on the shelves, but before she could even take in the collection, she felt it, that shift in energy, the lingering stares, the way the employees exchanged glances. She had been in places like this before. She knew exactly what was about to happen. As Vanessa reached for a handbag, she heard a sharp voice behind her. Can I help you? She turned, meeting the narrowed gaze of a man who had suddenly materialized. His name tag read Philip, store manager, just browsing. Thank you, she said smoothly, offering a polite smile, but Philip wasn't satisfied. His eyes flickered over her, scanning her from head to toe, and Vanessa knew exactly what was going through his mind. She didn't look like the kind of customer he wanted in his store. She wasn't draped in designer brand. She wasn't flaunting expensive jewelry, and worst of all, she was black. Philip straightened, crossing his arms, browsing for what exactly. His tone was laced with suspicion. Vanessa kept her smile in place, even though she could feel her patience starting to fray. For a handbag, she gestured toward the collection in front of her. Why else would I be here? But Philip just smirked. Are you sure about that? We've had incidents in the past. There it was. He wasn't even trying to be subtle. Vanessa exhaled slowly, keeping her cool. Are you suggesting I don't belong here? Philip shrugged. I'm just saying we've had issues with. He paused, eyes flickering over her again. People who aren't serious shoppers. She almost laughed. Serious shoppers? Vanessa had enough money to buy out the entire store if she wanted to. But before she could respond, Philip took a step forward, his expression turning serious. Look, let's not make this difficult. I'd rather not call security. Vanessa's smile vanished. Security for what? Loitering, Philip said simply, as if that was a perfectly normal thing to accuse a customer of. Vanessa tilted her head, studying him. He was serious. He had already made up his mind. In his eyes, she wasn't a customer. She was a problem that needed to be removed. And then he said the words that sealed his fate: either leave now or I'm calling the cops. Vanessa didn't flinch. She had spent years dealing with people like Philip. She had faced racist attorneys in the courtroom, corrupt officers on the streets, and ignorant men who thought they could intimidate her just because they saw her as someone beneath them. But she was no victim. She squared her shoulders. Go ahead. Philip blinked. What? She gestured toward his phone. Go ahead and call them. For the first time, doubt flickered in his eyes. He hadn't expected that. Still, his pride wouldn't let him back down. He pulled out his phone and dialed. Yes, I need officers at my store immediately, he said, throwing her a smug look. We have a disruptive individual who's refusing to leave. Vanessa simply pulled out her own phone and started typing. Philip let out a chuckle. What? Texting your lawyer? Vanessa glanced up at him. Something like that. Minutes later, 2 uniformed police officers entered the store. Philip straightened, ready to play the victim. Thank you for coming, officers, he said quickly. This woman has been loitering and causing a disturbance. She refused to leave when I asked her to. The officers turned to Vanessa, and then recognition dawned. One of them stiffened. His jaw tensed because he knew exactly who she was. Miss Cole, he said carefully. Philip froze. Wait, what? The second officer straightened immediately. Miss Cole is Everything okay? Philip's smirk faded. You know her? Vanessa finally smiled. Oh, they know more than me. She reached into her handbag, pulled out her identification, and held it up. Vanessa Cole, District Attorney. Philip staggered back. The officers turned on him in an instant. Sir, the first officer said, his voice sharp. Now you just falsely reported a crime. Philip's face went pale. I didn't know. Didn't know what? Vanessa asked, stepping forward. That I was the district attorney, or that your racism would have consequences. The officers exchanged a look before turning back to her. Miss Cole, do you want to press charges? Philip's eyes widened in horror. Wait. Charges? I didn't. Vanessa tilted her head. False police reports are a crime, aren't they? Philip stammered, but no words came out. Finally, Vanessa sighed. No, I won't press charges today. Philip exhaled in relief. Then she smiled. But I will be making some phone calls by the time Vanessa got home that evening. The boutique's corporate office was already in crisis mode. Social media exploded with the news. The company issued a public apology, but the damage was already done, and Philip fired immediately. The corporate didn't want the backlash. They didn't want the legal trouble of having disrespected a high-ranking official. They begged Vanessa to return, offering her free merchandise, discounts, anything, but Vanessa wasn't interested. She didn't need their free gifts. She had made her a point. In Philip, he learned a lesson he would never forget. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring tales. Together we can spread valuable lessons that remind us of the importance of humility, respect, and human connection. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.